Okay, so I'm using the strategy tester as my playback of the 30-minute chart. I just got closing prices only on here with a 3-period RSI at the bottom. So I know how to use RSI as far as the momentum of it. And I'm going to call out the signals here as we walk forward in time, and also going to set the limit orders based on closing prices only. So this is going to take the information down to one piece of information. You have no high, no low, no volume. Less is more. So we're down to one piece of data. And we have the 25 pip grid on this, with the big round numbers are on the bright green. And so this way we can assess, and it's Australian dollar. So the spread here is, I guess, beginners trading. This is like a nano account in a sense. As far as the amount of leverage you have and the volatility, at least on this data set where I'm at, and I just looked at the Australian dollar, but I don't know if it gets crazy. So when the market gets crazy, and it's completely off the rails all the time because these two countries are having an issue, or there's whatever order imbalance, just like this stuff that's stacked up off the shore, same problem, right? And once people find workarounds, right? So what's going on there is there's the underground economy, right? So black market comes in and saves the white market, because the white market's all like lawyers and people trying to scam the system legally, and then you have the get her done people that are making the whole fucking thing run because they don't want to die. So you're always going to have that battle. Anyways, in the closing prices, you just have a nice clean piece of data that you cannot fucking, you can't cheat reality. And to me, RSI is the only indicator really that you would ever you want to think about using an indicator, because it's so clean and simple. It's just, it can't get any more simple. And I'm using 3-period because I'm going to have way more signals and way more, on the 30-minute chart, there's a couple good trades per day worth about anywhere from 10 to 25 pips, 35 pips on this. Of course, it depends what's really going on in the bigger picture. This is actually playing back the market in creeper gear. So right now I see a buy in RSI that was happened about an hour ago. And if you could babysit the market, you would trade at the market on RSI. But I'm also going to put in limits based on structure at the same time. So it's a great setup system. You can see the momentum set up. You can see divergence. As soon as you see divergence, as soon as you see what a reversal looks like, it's very easy to say, I'll take that trade. And there's only like, it's going to be the top or the bottom of the hour. You're going to need to pull the trigger. Can you teach a robot to do it? I don't think so, because you got to see the target in a sense structurally. So you can't just erase the structure part of the story. You have to. The momentum is, and I'm going to treat each day as a box, like from open to close. And the swaps, and some guy was asking about the swap thing, I think. But the carry trade is engaged, so it's like the end of the week. And the end of this thing, and there's triple witching, and there's all sorts of things going on, that you don't see or don't have to even think about. Because if you're just trading momentum, everything what they say is everything that's known about price is in the fucking price. There's no need to try to make up a story to justify a trade on a fundamental basis. Well, wait a minute. I just heard that because I used to have a broker that gave me recommendations, and they're $35 round turn per trade. So it's owned by Jack Carl. Jack Carl was like a white label to it, and then Refco actually owned it. And then Refco was sued, and I got this thing one day that said there was a class action lawsuit. And I'm like, they want to collect them. Oh my God, I must have traded there like 8 times, But But that whole so, and there you just had closing prices. Really, at the end of the day, I mean, this is how people just plot it out by hand. And the RSI guy plotted it out by hand. He's like, oh, okay, this is that price. But then I couldn't understand why the RSI guy, this Andrew Cardwell, wasn't using a line chart. So he had all these things printed up. I spent I think it was like at least $1,500 or $1,200 for all his lectures on cassette tape. And he made these things by hand. He had a duplication girl, and I got a blank tape, and he replaced it for me. But he's just a really soft-spoken Southern guy, and all he's doing is looking at the fucking momentum. And the 2 to 5 period reversals, the 2 to 5 period divergences, this kind of hesitation in the doji before it explodes, you can see the setup forming. And it's all about the setup. And these are trades you need to be there for. You have to sit there and check. Oh, half hour, honey. Sorry, we got to stop banging. You don't understand. We're 5 minutes after the top or the bottom of the hour, or you're just happen to be getting filled on limits. Hopefully you're getting filled on the limits things so you don't have to babysit every fucking trade. So it's a blend. It's a hybrid between at the market trading, which naturally you have to pull the fucking trigger there, and because you see the setup. Or you put in the sleeper sell orders, right? You put in these deep fucking iceberg things. Now, those could get blown out too, right? So you'll say, oh, that's going to be a $55 risk, or that's going to be a $500 risk. But can the market move 120 pips in one day? Yeah, the euro just did a full auction. It went all the way to the high of the month, and it went to the fucking low. It took out the high of the week and took out the low of the week all in one day. Because some news came out, supposedly. Now, once it's satisfied that hole ripped up and down. So that is the auction, what's going on. So I don't know if that's what you mean by the auction's an algorithm, but I suppose it is, right? The auction's a countdown. And whoever bids, if somebody comes in, they have that time window to execute their trade. So before the market closes, or market on close, there used to be these orders that I would just say, get me out market on close. And that the broker would actually be the script. He would come out and go, okay, we're going to close out that position for you. I thought, well, that's nice. Market on close. And I thought, that's kind of a nice way to go. Because if you're a day trader, if you close all your positions at the end of the day, and you see these orders rush in, so these people are holding positions. I don't think it's any different in Forex, because as soon as the rollover comes, the spread's like shit coming into Asia. Yeah, because the fucking market every day is a new day. So there is that, right? And the more the market trades sideways, the more chop, the more explosion. This is the reason why wave 4 is the longest wave, an Elliott wave. And so you can't really count the waves out. It's a concept. It's not a fucking, you can't go, look, this is wave 3. Oh, any big wave is wave 3, but then that means that typically after wave 3 is consolidation, wave 4. So if you see a giant wave, the next wave would be consolidation. Now it may just be one baby pullback. But if you drill down to the 5-minute chart, there's a beautiful triangle. So there's a beautiful triangle inside that other guy, and they all coil up. So that's why when you go to the ocean, you see the 7th wave or whatever. This is the big wave. The guys are waiting to surf that wave because they all cluster fuck together, right? It's just a bunch of dumb shit politicians finally blow themselves up, right? The rhetoric becomes so obviously absurd that they're in a house of fucking mirrors. They got no fucking brain, right? It's like a fun house. A maze. It's a fucking maze for these poor bozos. But here I see the RSI just gave me a signal 2 hours ago. I'll go back to the topic. I just would have bought right here because it's obvious to me if I was babysitting this, if I came in actually. So here's the reversal. This is about a 2-period to 5-period reversal. I'm going to say it's at least 2 because we have 1 up. So 0 is the beginning of this little hash mark here. And we should be able to find a few good trades per day on here. I'd say 3 good trades. So here's the setup. Very subtle. It's more oversold and the price is higher based on these 2 pieces of data right here. It's very obvious that, of course, you could kind of cheat here and take it to here. That's like a 2-period setup reversal. So make it a little more obvious. And you have to pull the trigger right here on this last, geez, here, wait. Let's mark this thing off. So you'd have to pull the trigger right here. You'd have to do that. And I suppose you could miss it by 5 minutes. In other words, once it starts to go up, you know that it's time to jump aboard. And maybe you chase it a little bit and get in here. But you have to, because this is your signal. And here, so here's your, it's making a top, and you could safely sell. There's no problem just selling above 70. I think the reason that No Nonsense can't think about this is because he's trading one position. It's because if you sell here, you sell everything above there, and you finally get, it's not divergence, but there's a reversal in here that is supposed to be your propelling. And you could just, in a quiet market, RSI is a genius because it oscillates perfectly. It's when it goes into a trending mode that people get annihilated, because they would think, oh, look, it's going up. Yeah, you know what? If you didn't scalp to here and buy below the 30, then you're fucked. And here it's a little bit of almost divergence. This is like a long divergence here between these two pieces. Now we're propelled that we look for reversals now. And we're looking to cash out into this window. So it's a structure exit. It's a momentum entry. Let me just go fast forward now. So this thing's amped up. Wish the slider bar was a little bit higher up on the... Okay, so we're long into the close. Now, it could still rip down. This is why, even though I have that trade going, and it seems like a good trade, right? I still have my limit bank trailing behind me. Down here, I have a bunch of buy limits pending. Let me just clean this thing up. Get rid of these boxes. So, all right. This box is via this guy. I got to take this one off. So we're long, and into the close. Let's look at the... Okay, here's going to... I hate it when you zoom out and these things get really skinny. So usually I put a line chart on top of MetaTrader, because when MetaTrader zooms in, it's a fat line. When you zoom out, it's skinny. It sucks. So and I fatten up the indicator to make it really obvious. Let me speed it up a little bit. So we're long into the close, and we're going to cash out anything above here. We're going to cash out above this in this 25 pip window, which is be taking out the high of the day. And I'm just going to turn the wicks on for a second, and see you only spent like a little baby wick up there. Just that's it, right? Just that's the only, and we have not. So this is the kind of pending looming vacuum up here in a sense. And yeah, you could have pulled the trigger here on the hammer. But look how the RSI was a shaved candle, and then you open. So you open, you just go nuts, we never close. I guess if you went to the, we can't do it here, but if you went to the 1 hour chart, you probably just had one nice hammer there. But the wick pierces the 25-yard line, and if you have orders sitting in a trap down here, so you're trying to get in on these fake breakouts, it's all about being faked out. And of course, the people that are selling that breakout, they're going, yeah, it's going to take, we just took out the low of the day, and it's going to keep going in my favor. So if I got my buy limits aggressively placed here, I know I got filled, even with a bad spread here, and I got this set to, so we can set this to, what is this, about 4 pips. This 4 pip spread, we definitely would have got filled there, right? Because it actually went beyond. So it definitely spiked about, this is like a wick of 8 pip wick, And if the spread's even 4, you're kind of buying right there at the edge, It's just support. And yeah, I got that it went through it, and so, well, it's not support anymore. You can't even think like that. So if you do closing prices only here first. So I would say always go with the closing prices first to see what's really going on structurally. So here's the bottom becomes a top, and then you turn this on to see, okay, there's a chance to get on there and a sell limit would have got filled. Anything that closed above that in that window, but it doesn't look like you got filled here because closing only. But you can see if you're willing to trade this window, 3-pip window, you just have to find out what that window is. Now this may be where the order blocks live, I don't know, but typically that's the situation. So closing does matter. I heard when ICT said it's got to close, I don't care about closing prices. Well, how could you not? I mean, this really is the true definition of, they say at the end of the day. And when it closes in the commodity market there, it's over, and you're waiting for it to open. And it's people that hold stuff overnight, those people have deep pockets, because if it goes against you, limit, I don't know if they still have limits there, but if it's limit up and limit down, there's no way to offset it unless you jump in the other side of the trade, or you go into a spread. You basically freeze your losses, or you have an option. You have to go into an option market, and that's why the people flood into the options, because it's just a relief valve for volatility. Unless you're selling, and like that poor guy that sold that naked, put the naked call to somebody, and the market spiked. I mean, you look like a million. You're a millionaire, writing calls in a non-volatile market till one day the wheels come off. So when the COVID spike happened, I bet a lot of people in these, and that was that natural gas guy who was crying a river with his Rolex. He was already, that was pre-corona. It's hard to believe. And then I see the new thing. I just fucking about threw up tonight as I get this Forbes updates. These little 2-minute political things, and I see they fucking got Wikipedia connected like the new fucking Truth Police connected to this climate shit. And we got to hear about climate shit. We got this doofus fuck over in Rome. I mean, go suck a dick, man. I mean, he should be. How is this even possible? But this is the kind of circus of look at Richard Nixon, for God's sake, man. Look at some of these people that have been. And I guess it's just the thing you do. You stand in front of people and just lie your ass off, and everybody knows you're lying. It's just like the emperor's got no brains. It's just okay. So we're long this trade. We're doing so good here, and I'm already kind of thinking, let's get the fuck out of this trade. So the gap between the scalp and the kind of nice big run where it just rips. But usually that's designed because wave 4, the consolidation phase, the flag, the pennant, the whatever you want to call it, the zigzag, is going to resolve itself. And when it sees fit, there is no, I don't see how it's predetermined. I don't see how you can predict the future. But you can see the voids, and you can see the vacuums left behind of like, well, nobody talked about that before. We didn't even talk about that when we. Yeah, so somebody's gonna fucking talk about it. So it's kind of funny watching the charade come to an end. Is people from the pop culture that make a lot of money. This guy's gonna turn down $9 million because he doesn't want to fucking end up dead. Hey man, what a hero, I mean, but it takes people that could turn down $9 million and go, yeah, I'm just not going to trade that market. I ain't going to fucking get my, blood clots. Some go long blood clots. So I did videos. I don't know if they're still up, but maybe they tore them down because I've done some videos about COVID. It's just so mean and so fucking brutal, dude. You have no idea. Right? Doing body count, go long dead people. I said short dead people. And when we got to that, I still couldn't believe it, right? But these are all bullshit numbers because nobody died of flu last year. That is amazing. No, we died of flu last year, but we got to keep that going. A thumbs up there. Anyways, back to the chart. So we're long. I started to get sidetracked, but I fucking don't have anybody to talk to this about. If I tell the band members, they'll quit. They threatened to kick me out of the band because I walked down there and go, did you see the fuck happened to it? They go, dude, shut up, play your guitar. So up in here, and of course this is going to be the big selling zone because that's above that fucking double top peak order block shit up here, right? all that chatter shit up here. And these are good prices, not because of that, but hey, you want to hang your hat on some fucking structure? That's it. Now let's fast forward. I'll try to get, so we're just going to take to the end of the day and see how this trade turned out. Oh, shit. See, they crushed me. So we never got our target. See, my limits are getting filled now. RSI failed us there. So we had this buy. It fizzled the end of the day. Here we closed it out. We're coming into Asia. That's why I said I would never, you could not, you may look like, oh, that would have been a great trade. And it will be on the next pattern, right? Like here's the sell. Here's an RSI sell you could have pulled the trigger on, but are you ready to sell when you just got a buy? And you have a bias, so you can't have a bias either. They'll fuck it up. Because here's your about 5-period reversal. This is more overbought, a lower price. I went too fast, so I didn't have a chance to pull the trigger there because I gotta take this throttle. I could just take it forward really hard. So you should be short. You should be scalping out of that. You're coming into my buy window. And if we take out the low of the previous day, now this is where you be careful, because if you're taking out a 3-week low or a 3-year low here, we could go ripping down so hard right now. But don't forget, you're short on your momentum trades making money. You pulled the trigger there, but you still got to scale out a little bit. Okay, well, they're hitting my buy limits. So if I'm cashing out of that probably. And RSI is maxed out to 0, but you couldn't take any one factor here. You'd have to trade quite a bit, right? The target is only, we only made like 12 pips on that. Okay, buying more. I'm just buying because it's down. A little bit of divergence here. I guess this is, technically divergence, right? Made a new low. RSI did not give you the same situation. So I'd buy that, or I'd cash out on my shorts. Whatever I sold in this thing, and now I'm kind of thinking, this is a problem because we're kind of auctioned out here. We went down, took new lows. So the market's notorious for when it does this fake breakout. So I could have bought it for the reason of RSI. I also would have just bought it because it just made a new low. And it actually closed below there, although the price never went lower than this wick. So that's interesting. So all these things matter. That is the trap zone. So if you're waiting for close to give you confirmation, it's a first close below this double low with RSI. I guess this is your confirmation. Those 2 pieces, but it's just a good old buy down here. I'm not going to say that, also the target is going to be here on this. You just find the lowest close in there. It should be your target. So that story's over. Also, there was a sell here I just missed. See, this is more over, and it kind of, sometimes this queues up perfectly. So you have a third sell, but really you got trapped, right? If you sold this reversal, this is more overbought at a lower price. Another sell on the clock, hit it. You turn the candles on, and you see that it's really also wicking into the supply zone. All the rooftops on the half hour have just been, all these order blocks have just been tagged and bagged. That mini vac was just swept. Or you waited for the close. If you waited for the close, you didn't get all these great prices if you're selling. Here with divergence, now we're expecting at the completion of that half an hour, what can we get to? Oh, so this trend line is also, you're supposed to be where, okay, it's more about a lower price. Are you willing to step in front of this thing? If it closes up in this half an hour, are you going to sell? You're supposed to, the robot would, but I wouldn't. I would just actually put buy limits at this point. So I wouldn't really, if I don't see a setup, and there isn't one here, I'm just going to say, let's put buy limits in a pack right there and just let these last for, this is like 5 hours to here. It's like 5 hours into the future. 6 hour, it's half hour chart, so 29 bars left. Okay, so we're cashing out of something here, and at the top or bottom of the hour, the robot might say, well, it's more overbought at a lower price. I'd be like, yeah, but what about if we go after this high at some point? If we, yeah, I'm going to say I'd rather put sell limits up here. And yeah, if it closes up there, I guess you're kind of just selling for the scalp for the next 15 minutes of this bar. So let's go up. Let's complete this bar. Okay, so there was your sell. You had a scalp out, right? I wouldn't think you're selling here as a reversal like this is going to keep tanking. I think it's just going to keep. So we got a trailing buy limit right in there. Or we buy the only pullback you're going to get, and now we expect. Also, this is the taking out that Asian session, but now it's going to be a stampede to see. And we could put sell limits up here that last the rest of the day. So let's walk it forward here. Looks like we're going to go after that my sell limit bank. Okay, so we tagged just the top of that. Not the greatest, but like it depends. We know we got filled, and it was just kind of going after the high of the day. I think they can make another attempt. The big boys are going to try to push it across the border and take out the high of the day here. So, but just the same, if I'm not in the market, I'm going to put buy limits now down here. This is my next pack of buy limits. I got a bank there, and I'm also going to sell up here. So I'm not in the market unless they come after me. So I got both trades working. I don't have any buys here. All right, so we just got filled on some longs. And I kind of want to buy more, though. Okay, so we got a little bit more going there, and now I'm probably cashed out. Depending how big I'm in, because this half-hour sweep, we just took out the high there, so it's a mini auction already. Because we've done this algorithm, I guess is what I'm talking about. So you take out the lonely wick of this pack, and then you take out the high. So it's totally engulfed. Okay, that's over. Now it's almost like buy limits here now. So if I'm flat now, I'm going to go buy limits like that. And it's just like a back and forth, or I'm not paying attention to RSI there, but I do see these buys. So we have more oversold, higher price. And here you kind of got killed on that reversal, right? You took this reversal, see how they crushed you? But there's even a better signal coming up, and that's why I don't use RSI. But if you did, because I just have a feeling that I would buy this because it's just down. So my feeling is, in my mind's eye, I mean, I don't use RSI. Some people do. Because you could say things like, well, here is your divergence, which is causing your reversal, and I'm going to sell here because, look, I just got a... But I'm kind of looking at the highs and lows because I'm doing the limit order entry. So if I'm trailing limits, I want to buy this pocket. So I'd be short from here, and now I want to buy just down in here. And RSI may be below 30. At the same time, I'm getting filled on limits. You're pulling the trigger at the market. It just depends on what style, how you like to get fucked over in the market, whatever you preferred. Do you want me to hit you with a hammer, or do you want me to hit you with a nail? Alternating situation. Okay, so walking forward here, I would say buy here at the market if you think it's going to go higher. I'd buy one here at the market. It just has that look to it. I'm not looking at RSI on that. And then we have the fast forward. So I'm long on something. It's just anticipating a smash into that rectangle on top. And of course the one that goes way back to this high, this is going to be the next. I guess this is called the kill zone. If you're from the Empowered Trading Group, I think I call it kill zone up there. People die up there. So we're long right now, and see, they went back and wicked down. So even though it closed here, it looked like a great setup, and RSI was oversold. Look how there was another smash and grab there. So we want to run those trailing limits 1 pip apart on a 30-minute basis. If this is the 30-minute chart, you got to, of course, this is going to be low risk trading because you can press a button, you could drop a 1-hour script that'll capture the premium kind of entry rules, which would be price over time. So if you got buy limits sitting down here, the last this long, this is 12 hours, and you got buy limits down here, they never get filled. So that's why the closing prices, if you just take the chop off the wicks, you just buy everything, or I would even go more aggressive and buy everything, put the spread into the picture and say buy everything below here. So you guaranteed fill. And when the sell window, oh shit. I just took out my video here. Hit the wrong button. So all right, so selling up into these boxes up here, I had to take a liberal approach there. Commingling the scalps with the pretty much all scalps in my opinion. I'm not looking to make 150 pips on one day, even though those trades exist. My targets are like 8 pips all the way up to maybe 50 pips, but when the market goes 150 pips, I'm kind of like, unless I traded at the market a lot, because the market orders I do have set to 100 pip targets with 50 pip stops. So those are the kind of trades when the market's dropping like a whore, I'm like, well, that's worth getting into just like a slob with 100 pip stop, 50 pip stop. I think 50 pip stop is my tightest stop. So the market's crashing, and you see that this thing is fucking just moved 40 pips in 2 hours or 1 hour, or you have to take that into account. So that's going to make a difference if you're even there to trade it. So if you're trading pure limits, and they're probably not going to be, for me, it's not going to be a way to ever look for that kind of target. It's just too outlandish, and it's just too rare to really try to make money consistently from those kind of setups. Okay, so it's going up here, and we're still holding long. I'm just going to speed it up there. Okay, so we had to cash out of something, and of course that was the sell window. So it's a real tough situation because it looks like a nice RSI oversold here to buy. So that would have been a good buy there. Not making a lot of pips here. Spread is fixed at 2.5, so I do have a 2.5 fixed on playback here. But we're still going to wait till maybe the next day. No nonsense. We'll wait till the end of the day here. Yeah, we're short from that trap up there. That would have been 25 pips. Now I'm going to buy in limits coming into the next day. I can almost walk this box forward. Just going to be my buy limit bank. Let's try to get a fill here. So I speed it up. I know I get a fill. Okay, we tagged that very first. Now that'd be the scalp, and I'm out. I'm out of that trade. Now I'm going to come with buy limits trailing underneath. And I think we could revisit this box maybe. Or it looks like we're just going to go up into the, oh wait, I can zoom out now. There's enough data to, well, yeah. Okay. So in the big picture now, so the structure matters. That's a very tight view of the market because there wasn't enough data yet in the playback. Now, if we ever take this out, this could just be brutal. Like this is where, this is such a giant vacuum at this point. It becomes this looming abyss. And this would be the next level of looming abyss. And all the accumulation, or all the people that are, now when you look at this, buying at the 25-yard line looks just like, oh, look at that. How the market respects the 20. Yeah, kind of. But you can just do the math, right? I'm trying to make 25 pips in the market. Okay, well, here's the thing. You know it's 25 pips here, and you know that this is 25 pips away. Just put buy limits 25 pips away for a 25 pip bounce. So you buy here, you get out here. You can risk 10 to make 25. It's a great ratio. And that's something you don't have to back test. So you can see here, well, I back test, But if you bought at the 25, right, top becomes the bottom of the 25, you buy, you make 25, you're out, right? You sell here, 25 and above. And you're going to buy down here. And RSI might give you a little help. So RSI gave you a signal today, amazingly. So this is another reason RSI is, if you're really trying to take every signal on RSI, you're going to just destroy your account. But look at this nice triple, more oversold, higher price. But this is a big vicious trend. And here's divergence, I guess. If you're going to, but here's the thing, the disappointment's going to be like, gosh, I could have just taken this stuff. Why didn't I sell that? That's a good RSI trade. I missed that. Well, I don't think you'd miss it. On limits, if you're selling up here, and okay, there's a guy that's probably looking at that, goes, you see the divergence here? Well, I sold there just because it's a pocket. And that's my style, is just come down to that, because I cannot, I just don't want to have to think about it. I don't want to babysit this thing. It's a fucking train wreck. It's like goddamn politics. So let me fast forward. But it's not like you couldn't do it, right? Momentum does exist. And trends, I guess trends do exist, because at the beginning of Asia here, we're in an uptrend. The whole day we're in an uptrend, of course. Where are we going to finish? So they're coming in my sell limits above, and my buy limits are still in that box below. Kind of taking a real, okay, we got that first scalp. They just nicked the high. So here's what we know we got filled on this, because these are bid prices. That's sell. We definitely got filled on that, and we definitely scalped out in a half an hour, but are we still holding a giant position, right? Because if you didn't scalp out of that, we might just be ready to go back into that. Or this will never see another high. We don't know, but that's why you also couldn't trade $1 zillion on that one thing and say, we'll just ride that for 25 pips guaranteed. We don't know it's coming back to even this top. Can it even make it back to this, this top become a bottom? Sure, if it comes down here, no brainer. I got a bunch of orders pending here. And if it comes above here, I'm willing to sell for the scalp back to here. And that's always going to be my current position. Mental position to think about the next trade. Now here's a buy, right? RSI oversold, but like I said, RSI, just I can't look at it, but if you just put it for example. So let's take it down here. So it's all about these prices. As we zoom out, we see, oh my God, look at this fucking. It's a story of price. That's what's going on there. And here it's just a bar chart, which is actually great because we can see the range is better. Candlesticks, also kind of not a fan of. I'd rather bar chart. Line chart, bar chart. When you zoom out the candles, they become bar charts. That's the only cool thing about MetaTrader. It's just kind of built in. I'll speed it up. So we short, maybe on a scalp of $1 zillion, and see, we couldn't do $1 zillion because they're going to come back up into this high. Probably going to keep plowing north into those other sell boxes. Nope. So you had a second chance to sell the mother load up there. Retest, but not a new high. But they're filling my limits. They're filling my limit box. So I didn't have to be there for this trade. I come home. So you never miss a trade with this, but you can also, I could get, it could keep tanking now and shear off this. This is the loneliest kind of pocket in here. 25 pip. iceberg orders down there. Look how they keep retesting down here. This is the big heartbreaker for people that bought this triple bottom, and they're like, dude, this thing's going to the moon. And they did not get out here in the seller's window or this anything above here. So this is the top. Became a bottom failure also. This full tilt auction, you take out the high of the day. Now, took out the intraday low. But we bought into that box. We are long right now. And we're waiting for this to play out. Every day is, and I think if you're comfortable with this 25 pip target, 50 pip target lifestyle in the Australian dollar, then but sometimes, it is moving like 100 pips in one day. But it's typically because of the looming abysses that start to stack up and become this prescient force. That when we tip into this window, it's like it's over. And these things are situation. Like, look at this hole. And you take it back to this, and like this all starts to stack up. But these are the perfect buy windows, and easy to do the math on a 25 pip window. You could run 20. You could run. The spread could be 3 pips, and you're looking to make 30 pips, so you're paying 10% for these trades. Shipping and handling, and then we have we're still long from this box, and we're kind of forced to scalp out because we're coming up into the entry window of the box. Scalp out something, but if you made enough money, or you don't think you're in a big enough position, then I would just let it go. If you're in really big here because you're really loaded up on that little pocket, then you're probably okay starting to get out about right now. But we could tank, and we do. So if you did not scalp, you are fucked. But I'm buying more when we make the new low. I got another limit grid in the end of the day is coming. Are we going to take out the low of last week or the whole week here now? We're itching to come after this. How many times did we come back to this price again? So it is 50 pip winner. If you held this double top all the way through the engulf, you took out the low of the day after you took out the high of the previous day. It looks like you might take out the low, but see, here's where it becomes that big what now. But I would definitely put buy limits in coming into Asia here. So this is one of those. I would go to sleep on this trade easy. Coming into Asia, let me put orders in this. Now, this could get blown out, this ticket bank, because I cannot see any further left than we are. So let's walk it forward here and see. Well, so the only fill we would have got is if we had to take a more aggressive approach and buy everything below the Asian low in this little pocket. It just happens to be that. So we get long on something here. Or you're still holding the longs. Don't forget, if you put a 50 pip stop on these tickets, you are in that trade. You did not get taken out. There's so many things to consider here because it depends on how much work you want to put into these order placement. So that was also, you could have bought right into the close of the day. Like this is this is a hard close down, and it's closing like it a retest to the 25-yard line. Like, how many fucking times is this thing going to retest? And that's why the range traders can make way more money, because they can trade this whole bullshit thing where there's no fucking trend. I have no bias. I'm just an equal opportunity buyer and seller. I think this is the ultimate position to take, and anything's to be objective. So this is going to be the objective trading. I think I just crashed my. I think I just crashed the amount of trader. I saw hourglass pop up. I thought, no, we're in trouble now. I just moved too fast for it, but. All right, I want to get those objects off. Okay, so now we are long for the swing, and we are out of the scalp. Let's go forward. And, you got a little divergence there in the RSI there at the close also, so you could justify that entry if you wanted to do that. Confirmation idea, but so here's a buy. Pull back, RSI is below. RSI is in the 30s. I would buy that sell-off. But I long anyways, probably for the big swing. Can we take out the low of those 2 to 3 days ago. Can we take out the lows? Yes, so I'm buying into that. Now this is taking a risk here because I can't see left. And we got an RSI sell also in this reversal. Moreover, sold at a lower price. I mean, moreover, bought at a lower price, the inversion. A reason to sell, that's all. And then we're buying into this plunge. Okay, we're scalped to the floor. Now let's ride the engulf. Now I feel like this could really engulf because it's very rare. And it always seems like, man, they really, so, wow, I thought this was supposed to be support, and we were going to take it out and keep tanking. And this is, I think, the big, the lower risk trades are total reversals from the auction all the way down to new lows, unfair value, unsustainable down here. And then we rip back the other way. It's just classic fake out, hit and run situation. Now we're looking for the to take out this high. So let's run it forward. Still long on something, scalped out to the floor of that box. I want to buy into that box again. I'll buy there and then also buy in deeper. Put another one in. I want to buy everything below that low there too. So I'll definitely buy heavy down there if we make it. Okay, I'm starting to buy again. I'm still holding some of that because I do think we're going after the box on the top. I definitely cashed out of something there because, and if you're trading the very small targets, we just kind of took out the high of Asia and kind of trapped those people. So to speak, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So here we can see the candlesticks a little bit. Now, you're shorter cashed out. Now I still got my longs pending in those boxes. People are selling again. Looks like they're going to go up though. The end of the day is coming. We got a doji day. Just nothing happened today. So tomorrow's going to be the big determination. Nice buy there if you're going to buy the lonely wick. So it's kind of subtle, but that's the and this looks beautiful half-hour walk down at the end of the day. So we're long into the close, anticipating a big rally, but we could still hit a pullback. So I don't want to go long on my whole 2%. I'm going to risk 0.005% here, and then I'm going to put limits of 0.05, or 0.5%. Okay, so I bought more. So I bought more because of that another fake breakout of Asia. So I really bought a lot there. I'm very long now. And I'm looking to make 25 pips clean here on a run as we jump across this abyss that's been forming for, well, not like a day and a half now. All right, let's see. I want to cash out of this. Hit my target. Oh, just bought more. I'm just keep building a long position in anticipation of rocketing out, taking out the high of the previous day now. It's not happening. But I got limits below I'm getting filled on. Buying on limits. And here we finally hit this box. So if I got 50 pips stops in buying up here, they just stop me out. But I have to buy more when it goes lower. Still anticipating a take out of that. So I'm buying more, buying on limits there. So here's where I really load the wagon, and it's tough psychologically because that is the... So you hit the first trap there, you scalp to the floor, and then it goes even lower, and I'm definitely cashing out for the scalp. I made, in half an hour, in 1 hour, you made like 40 pips here. And this is the seller's window. So now the volatility is pretty rambunctious. And here was divergence, I suppose, in RSI. So you're taking that trade because you see divergence. I'm taking that trade because I'm just going to buy down there. I'm really looking for them to rip up into here. So I got stopped out. If I'm loading up here with tight stops of 12 pips and 14 pip stops, they take me out of that. Always got that buying limit bank sitting to take out the previous day. Now, another fill on the buy side, and if you're short from this pocket, right? If you're short from this one right here, you just made, so that was really unsustainable. It rocketed up. Nothing but an overbought here from our side. No divergence. So these kind of setups. But I'm long now. I'm going to go very long. So I just went very long because we just keep making new lows. I made my 25 pips. So I bought everything below this day. When I bought below this day, if I didn't scalp out this move to here, I'm still long. Wow. I hopefully made enough money here because this is a nice 45 pip move. And then I'm committed to buy everything below here before the end of the day. I get long here, and then the next day, here comes Asia right here. We get a dead cat bounce. I got so many tickets here because I want to buy the low of the previous day, which is this. I have to scalp to here because I don't know if we're going to do this and keep tanking. And I don't feel like I'm ever missing a trade, and I can check in every couple hours and see where we're at, and I can drop an order bank. I'm just going to buy below here. Now I can hand set these because I can just pick these zones. Or you're pressing a button and dropping an array. But look at this. Trapping the high, trapping this, And all these clever little, trapped above that. Now it becomes kind of getting volatile here. Buying that on pullbacks, you got a little reversal, RSI. And I don't know if we're done tanking. I'm constantly going to run an array of tickets down there. Yeah, that's going to be the approach going forward. Okay, let's run this thing forward. Let's take a look at the whole thing here. So I'm just going to run it fast now. Always try to buy the low of the previous day, which is now this. Anything under there, I'll buy it. There's the high. Current high of the day. And coming back into my buy zones here now. A little sell at the very top of that window. Range trade the hell out of that thing. Okay, just went short. Scalp to the out of that box. Now we're going to go long on that lower window. You just went long. Okay, now this is where my buy limits are here now, and I can't see to the left, so we could drop about 50 pips here. I can't see that far left. Let's see where we're at. So this we're uncharted water, so here's a big problem, especially when it's like a historical move. But it's historical enough for the hysterical too. So we went long into that window. We had a 25 pip bank. We just hit the 25-yard line. Now we're going to scalp to the top of that because it's a fierce move. We know this is going to be a brutal. So we have to scalp out here. Now this could be a total engulfment now. It could be a total auction on us. And go after this now. Which is about 50 pips away. So now we still be long. Here comes Asia. Now we're just going to change our entry window. Anything below this day we'll buy. We'll do the same trade over on that one. Rinse and repeat there. Now this is the new sell window. All right. Here we could have bought this little mini trap. The more aggressive you are, the closer to the market you'd be here. So you'd be buying, I guess, a fake breakout of Asia. Yeah, so that's your fake breakdown. Look how it just trapped and running. So I'm cashing out. If I went long here, I'm cashing out because now we're in this sell window. Big sell window up there. And then above here, it's going to be crazy. Speed him up here. Okay, max speed. That's too much. All right. So I'm short. I'm out of that thing. Or I sold into that for the scalp. I have to get out of here. Got to cash out. Then we have more buy limits there. Just got filled. As you take out the low of the previous day. Now here's where you would have, if you don't have a 50 pip stop, you cannot trade that. Because see what happened there? You come down in here, you crush 25 pips. Like I said, to the left could be like weekly lows. Now it's so brutal that you got to have your 50 pips to make 50 pips just to make it in here, or risk 50 to make 25. You can easily risk 50 to make 25. And that's why you do need to have bad ratios and some stuff, because you get kicked out. If you're buying into that and you don't cash out here, if everything's such a great tight stop, then it's going to be too impossible to extract anything. You won't survive the punishment of these moves. But I would definitely be out on my whole position. With the 50 pip stops and the 100 pip stops make 50, I have to get out of the whole position here and reassess and start to think about buy limits here. Look at this hammer on the 5 p.m. So buy limits here in the new 25 pip pocket and sell limits up here. Not much you can do about that. You're kind of stuck with these checker moves. Okay, selling into that. Then buying into that plunge. So I marked that off that I would buy all the way down. Certainly buy more below the low of the day. Like below here, I'm just going to buy a ton. But after that nice walk up, and then it's kind of trapping. You just retested this high from, so there was the Asian session, and that's the high of the day there. So if you're selling the high of the day, this is almost a complete auction. And they may take out the low of the day by the end of the day here. So no, waiting, still trying to buy in that lower window though. And the high of the day is here now. So if you just did the previous high and lows, probably the easiest way to do it. Those will always be your buy and sell windows. Waiting to get a fill. Just went short. This is where you want to zoom out and see, well, should you really be shorting here? Because don't forget all those big boys drew a trend line here, and they're like, yeah, this is about to fucking go berserk for 100 pips north. So I'd be careful selling that. Now, I'd sell that for the scalp, but this could be brutal. All right, you sell that for the scalp to that box, and we might just tank. Yeah, that might be just the total trap. And it is for that half hour. Look at a half hour move. Wow. I'm buying the lows here. This can be, here's Asia. I'm buying the low of the previous day. Now anything below here I'm going to buy. Just keep moving that buy zone forward. Okay. No fill. So you had to buy the trap in Asia, so you got to keep changing your, here's where you can run your tight stops, your tight, because you're buying this pocket, got a scalp to here. It's not even RSI is got to buy in that. So if you're long, if you buy here and then you start buying aggressively from here down, and almost a perfect retest, but not a to the 25-yard line, but not so to really make money on that. You probably want to, on these big moves, it's like, how can I get aboard these giant moves? Well, here was a giant move. So they trapped that thing. That was nasty. And that's like happened to Euro today, where you just take out these lows, but people can't believe that's totally, it's an auction within, not during the day, but even the sell limits up here, like, bam, bam, in half an hour, this has got to be news or something. Yeah, I think that is news, because I remember I used to drive around in my car when the news came out in New Zealand, and it comes out about it's like 4 p.m. and shit. It could be pretty nasty. There was some news thing that came out once, and I just got destroyed in this New Zealand dollar trade. I was just looking at it on my phone, and I was like, this is going to be, I was like, gosh, I hope that goes my direction here, because I knew didn't get home in time, and I looked at the trade on my phone, and I was like looking at a time bomb ready to blow up. I go, here comes the fucking news, and this is like, I didn't really think about the spread expanding, because I wasn't home staring at the chart. I was looking at my phone. I was like, this I could get killed on this trade. Sure enough. Okay, then the sell window again. Now selling the high previous day up here. Now I just feel like putting buy limits, picking this up. So I get filled in a buy limit there. Okay, now we're selling into that yellow box. We got a scalp out of the box. Okay, we can cash out, hold, buying into the plunge here. Yeah, this is good speed right there, about 31. It sure is fun to run this back test. What would you do, So here's almost a perfect structure. Bottom becomes a top idea there. It just doesn't happen often enough. So I feel like here's Asia. Market takes us off to a big run. We could have sold into this for the cash out to here. Otherwise, right now, I got buy limits here and here and here. And I could probably got sell limits up here, because I feel like I don't want to ride the crush into that. So I don't have a bias. I want to buy and sell. I just think it's fair. I don't want to offend the market. We sell above that. We buy below that. We're not going to. It's a unisex bathroom. You're allowed to gang rape anybody in this bathroom. That's what they should put a disclaimer on the door. Besides, everything that takes place in this bathroom will be on a stream at unisexbathroom.com. There you go there. I wonder if it's got to be taken, right? I'll look that up. I'll probably take it to a porn site, but here's a nice buy zone below here. So if you did go short above this, you're probably cashing out on everything you sold above that. You're totally cashed out. Now I think about buying here. So I'm kind of hoping they come down there so I can lay some tickets. Now, it doesn't always happen, but then, of course, we don't lose any money. No fill. Perfect retest of the, it's almost like just a full circle. Nothing else. Just kind of back to the starting gate. So this is the end of the United States market starting to, what was this about noon here? Or is this, no, it's about market open. U.S. stock market opens here. All right, so we bought. I probably bought into that a little bit, but still want to see. I think the big juicy trades are to buy down here and sell up here for that big giant sweeping move. I'm gonna put buy limits here because I think it could still go up. Yeah, if I'm not willing to sell here for a half-hour trade, then I figure, you know what? Let's buy down here. Let's really load up if we make it down here. Unless you're trading at the market, you don't mind pulling the trigger here every half hour. 25 pips there just by pulling the trigger there. Still got my buy limits trailing. I don't think I got a very good fill there. Put the sell limits up here now. Okay, I'm getting filled on some limits. So this is actually pretty close to the market. You're putting orders in that are 5, 10, 20 pips away. So depending the size of those tickets, you make a lot of money on just this stuff. The bigger picture, so on just this kind of stuff, you can make quite a bit of money. Spread is a problem for you, but these big sweeping moves, you got to be in that trade all day long. Buy, sell, really oscillating on the dailies. Okay, looking to sell this. Above here, I'm seller. So hopefully you got enough longs there, cashing out. Sell bank that's just pending for this long. And I'll put buy limits here now. So when a candle goes up, I want to put in tight buy limits that lasts a half hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 2 hours. So maybe 2 hour tickets here, 4 hour tickets there. This is the low of the day now. This is the high of the day. We got a small range day compared to this day was kind of brutal. Small range day. If we can get it to come back to here, fair value in the middle of the road, we'll buy there. But if nothing else, I'm always going to just have these tight buy limits pending. I would have picked this trade up just having tight buy limits. And so I'm flat now, looking to get up some pullback. I might have to wait till the middle of the night here when next market. Okay, so coming into sell limits up here. Let's try to get something short so when the Asian opens, it can come down. I'm trying to think of the next thing that's going to happen. To speed it up here. I guess there's no other. Unfortunately, I can't get a. I thought I put another indicator on. I can slow down the robot, just get a sweet spot, but I'm just going to crank it forward. Okay. Oh, so we did get a fill there. If we're running these constant buy limits here, and when you take out the low of Asia, that's like the middle of the night trade entry, about 9 o'clock. So this is about 9 p.m. Maybe news came out. Who knows? We're long, and we really do want to sell above these twin peaks up there, and that's So I was saying before about, this is, look at the rambunctiousness. That's tough. That volatility just blow your mind. I'm buying that plunge. I'm just buying that plunge, 25 pips. I'll buy that. Buy. All in one day. Look how we give up. We took out the high the previous day, and we give the whole thing back. So these engulfing days, I don't even think this is trend trading. No, I mean, come up here in this pocket, capture, and then look at this. Took out the low of the day. So totally engulfed this. Zero indicators on that. Let me take this. I can't take that on nothing there. Zoom in one level. Okay, so we're going to go. So we're buying into this plunge. We just made 25 pips on that in a half an hour. And we're going to buy into it again. So here's what I do, a lot of rinse and repeats. Going to buy in this 25 pip window. Look how they just keep on taking out. Here was another. It just keeps flirting with that price. I gotta move this. Let's get this over someplace where I can grab it faster. Look at that. So, in a 25 pip window there. Oh, speed that up. Okay, so we definitely scalped. And now we're going to buy that again, that same window, and below that. We don't make it below, but we could. Retest again. Like how many, and we just took out the low of the day just by a little bit in the middle of the day. That'd be a great scalp. Now I'm really buying. And here's where I don't know what's on the left of me, but it could be just historical prices. So this is kind of another 50 pip drop, it looks like. And so it is. And 25 pips off of that. And now back to the top floor of that box. Okay, you're scalped out. And sellers come in again there because it's a ridiculous price. So see how chaotic this is? I mean, I'm sure that all the trend traders are running some moving average that looks like this. And oh, look, I gotta sell. But what about this buy? I mean, holy shit, comes down into there, rips to there, and actually comes back and then up. So these targets, you may have this target of new highs, new lows, but look at how wicked this path is. And some of these, look at that. That's 25 pips in a half an hour. So if you're trading with a tight spread and you're trading big, then you'd probably be out of that trade in 90 minutes. And in 2 hours, you've just made 25 pips. I mean, it's pretty damn good. Yeah, $250 standard lot, no spread. Pretty good prices. Pretty good. All right, speed them up. So we're going to be buying this below here now. I say 50 pips is my maximum window here. If we drop further than that, they're just going to blow out that ticket bank. So if you wanted to buy this is about the only vacuum you could buy is this low. So you're long on limits there. And now you'd be selling the high of the previous day. 2 previous days. This could be pretty brutal. We could get a 50 pip slam into that, but we don't always do that. We just nick it and then come flying back. So here you're selling into it now. And if your first scalp is back to that breakout window, then you're out of that. But sell again into that window. And now I'm really short. And as you come in Asia, is the trap. You're getting filled because you took out the high of the previous day. And you might be actually short from taking out the high of this day. So this is a double trap. You're taking out 2 days. Now you're short. Trying to make 25. You made 25. Can you make 50? So we know that you really could. Too fast. Fuck that up. So buying the Asian fake breakout trap, breakout to the downside. Now you traded that. Okay, so you're selling in and you're cashing out. Boom, you're out now. Here comes Asia. I'm going to sell the high of the previous day all over again now. I moved my sell banks up here and I got my buy banks down here, and that was quite a ruckus day. It was a 50 pip day up and down. And I want to put in my buy limits now. We just established Asia. I definitely got to have buy limits here now. And we got filled. We cashed out. And we have another order bank. Look how they just nicked the low of the previous day by like 3 pips. So we're long. Now we're cashing out scalp. Now we're going to go short into this, but I'd be very afraid of what lies above us. I should move this over. Because this is becoming a real issue. It's like the border wall down. It's like the fucking border here. The invasion is possible, seriously above that. And it just could go 100 pips in one day now. I'm going to put buy limits in. Getting filled on buy limits. I'm definitely getting filled on there. So we just took out I got another 25 pip. We just took out the low of the previous days now. And the same could be said about this vacuum, as we could just crush down in. You just be barreling into this space. But with a static risk, with a 25 pip to 50 pip window static risk of, you don't have like, you just know this is what's going to cost you. It's not based on the moving averages. So we're buying into that. And we're going to scalp to the top of that yellow box. So we're out on the scalp. We just have to take that scalp, even though this could be the engulfment we could come and take out the high of the previous day. Now, it looks like now you're up 50 pips if you're still holding some of that position. But you're coming into that critical floor that you took out. So we expect sellers. And we get a bunch of up and forth 20 pip nonsense there. So yeah, 20 pips off of that. I'll buy that yellow box again. I'll cash out. And now run. And now I'm thinking, oh wow, they're really going after that yellow box up top. So I'm gonna buy I'm gonna buy this pullback, because I'm anticipating us going up there, and I just want to get in on tight limits. Okay, we're cashing out. We rip into it. We sell into that. So there is this is even more than if you look at this, it's like, wow, there's your so-called order block, I suppose, and then come back, and then we take out the high of the day, and then just kabamo, you're making 25 to 30 pips there, and then rip again into so cashing out, coming back in, you're just buying and selling. It's just range trading it. You can just range trading it. And this big, deep, this was just a killer setup of structure to get in there. It was fantastic. Up again into this giant void above us. 25 pips, you're scalping out. You made your 25. Now we could go tanking. All right, I'm just going to let it rip. So, took out the high of the previous day. That was a scalp. That was worth, oh, shit, it's over? Fuck. Gosh, that can't be right. That can't be 2 years of fucking data. I don't trust. I don't know what these fuck. I maybe blew up the rope. Maybe I blew up the account. Wait. Maybe I lost money. No, fucking made money. MACD out of the can, by the way. MACD used by MT4. Well, that's fucked up. Here we go 1 hour chart. Why don't I trust this thing? I don't trust nothing on here. Something's wrong. Something's wrong here. Fuck. Oh well. Okay, it's not as easy as it looks. Anyways, that's my thing. I'm not gonna redo it. Oh, it's very fast with this. Let me put my grid in. My template. Oh shit! There you go. Here's the cloud system. Wow. So yeah, that's the 1 hour chart. A little bit less insane, you know. That's nice RSI buy. Yeah, so that's it. Some people in these forums or these, chats. I see that's a buy. Yeah, that's a buy for me too. Well, people would agree on certain price levels, but it doesn't even mean that they're going to ride it all the way to the target they see. Look at the RSI. It's so oversold at a higher price there. This 1 hour chart's a little bit easier to navigate. All right. I gotta go kill some mice. Mice are breaking in my house.